Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing here some test hands for the Sacred Beast deck that we've recently profiled. So I do hope you guys are excited about this. This is definitely a deck that has gone through quite a few changes. Although minor, there has been quite a few of them. So as a result of that, it does definitely change up different plays within the deck itself, or different kinds of approaches or different achievements that you could pretty much try to obtain during gameplay. But with that being said, I do leave some of these suggestions up to you as well on what you might do differently in each of these opening test hands. But before I get started, let me remind you guys to consider dropping a like, share, comment and subscribe if you still haven't. It really does help. However, with that being said, let's begin. Alright, so here's our opening hand. As you can see here, we are definitely in quite a bad situation because you can see that we definitely don't have too many cards to work with, though we could definitely still try our best and see what can actually happen with this. We already have our Fallen Paradise, so that might excuse us from actually going for the Chaos Summoning Beast. However, I think I'll definitely start off with opening of the Spirit Gates, allowing me to add my Dark Beckoning Beast first. So we're just going to look for that right now, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to normal summon it out and allow myself to just essentially search out my Dark Summoning Beast. So where is that? It would be over here, and fortunately since we are going first, the Dark Summoning Beast will definitely benefit off this. Now of course this card is not going to be applicable, however what's amazing about this card is that it could act as a bluff in some sort of way, and it's great because if your opponent knows what a Sacred Beast actually does, they will know about Awakening, and Awakening is definitely quite a concerning card, so to set that there, even though it's a bluff, it's definitely enough to scare your opponents from maybe going into stuff unless they're willing to destroy this, so feel free to do that. However, with that being said, we can tribute off the Dark Beckoning Beast, allowing us to summon out our Dark Summoning Beast. Of course, we can also activate the Fallen Paradise as well. Keep these two in the hand for now. But what we essentially have here now is Dark Summoning Beast's effect. You can tribute this card and just summon any of your Sacred Beasts from your deck. So with that being said, who do we actually want to go for here? We are playing a little bit more on the defensive side of things, so I might actually just go for the Hamon. Though it is up to you on what you want to go for. By putting it in defense, it is definitely going to be quite a difficult card for your opponent to try and get over. So it is quite nice there, and you can't attack, but that's just fine because you are going first anyway. Now of course, don't forget the fact that you can also banish this from the graveyard, allowing you to search for one of your Sacred Beasts and add it to your hand. In this case, we'll go for the Raviel, just to get more of them to our hand. But of course, it depends on what you want to do. You could definitely try to get yourself a Uriah, and then the Dimension Fusion Destruction might become applicable in the following turn. But who knows? For the time being, we do have two Radiants, so you could use opening of the Spirit Gates to ditch off one of the Radiants, and that way bring this back to set up an extra bit of a wall. But otherwise you could leave it as is anyway, it's still fine. The Radiants can still work really amazingly for turn 2 or your following turn. So if your opponent wants to actually do something, then at least you have two of them in hand just in case. But we still have Fallen Paradise, so let's draw two cards by shuffling our deck first. Alright, so what I love is that we already did a bunch of searching. So we summoned this out from the deck, we searched this out, we added that as well. Definitely fantastic, so we can draw two cards now and find out what we have. So firstly, Awakening, nice, and keep in mind we're just drawing so the opponent doesn't know. And the second card, a Super Poly, brilliant. That's also very powerful because at this point, if you look at what your hand is now, you could essentially use opening of the Spirit Gates, right? Discard your Radiant and summon out your Dark Beckoning Beast. That's an additional dark target, so if your opponent summons out a dark target, all you need to do is activate Super Poly, discard either your Yugioh or your Radiant, and you could fuse your Dark Beckoning Beast with one of your opponent's Dark monsters to go for your Starving Venom. Otherwise, even if the opponent has something, you could definitely still play that off. So we're just going to summon that out there. Definitely fantastic, of course. This is still a deadly card in the hand, but now you have Awakening on the board as well. Definitely fantastic. And the Super Poly. I mean, this is a very powerful board here. Definitely a fantastic start. Alright, so actually that's pretty good for an opening hand here, because going first, the Ash is a great card to stop your opponents. Not to mention you could bring out a bunch of cards here already which will start you off, so you simply activate the opening of the Spirit Gates. If your opponent wants to negate you, you have Called by the Grave anyway, but nevertheless we are definitely still going to go for our, our Dark Beckoning Beast. We don't want to go for the Chaos Summoning Beast because we can't really do anything anyway, even though we don't have Fallen Paradise like last time. But we can normal summon out the Dark Beckoning Beast, of course, and this time we could search out our Chaos Summoning Beast. Definitely fantastic there, but of course I still got more plays to go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just tribute off our Dark Beckoning Beast, and this will allow us to obviously summon out our Dark Summoning Beast now. So we could also get rid of that, and this will essentially allow us to add one of our Sacred Beasts to our hand. In this case, it's up to you what you want to go for. I'm going to go for the Yugioh because I already see Super Poly in the hand. I want to maximize the amount of Dark monsters I have on the board just in case I need it to go into something bigger. But even so, with that being said, we go for the Yugioh as a summon, which is fantastic of course, but we could also just banish that off, allowing us to summon out or add to our hand a Hamon. Of course it is up to you. For example, if you're gonna discard a card with the Super Poly, you may as well add your Uriah anyway. That could definitely work out for you. So that is definitely fantastic as a choice as well. But what we have here is opening of the Spirit Gates, discard the Chaos Summoning Beast, and we simply summon it back out again. Now of course in this particular circumstance, you could use the Chaos Summoning Beast, strip it itself off, and summon out Uriah. Of course, if you don't want to go for Uriah, you could also go for Hamon from your hand. It's just depending on what you add. Keep this in defense of course. Trip it off or banish off this and allow you to search for your Fallen Paradise. And now we're going to shuffle our deck. Alright, so now we're going to draw two cards here, and keep in mind, no matter what your opponent wanted to negate you with, you have Called by the Grave there, still great. So one here, Radiant, that's okay, and two being Chaos Core, not necessarily the most crucial right now, but can definitely set you up for your turn 2 plays, because on your following turn you have the Chaos Core, allowing you to pretty much just go for your Fusion Summon. That would be quite powerful indeed, so that is quite nice as a start, but yeah, that is obviously after activating the Fallen Paradise of course. But yeah, with that being said, what we can do here is now just set the Super Poly, and we always have Chaos Core to discard as the fodder, but of course we have our Caught by the Grave, fantastic card as well. We have the Ash to stop the opponent, and we have Fallen Paradise protecting these two, Radiant to get rid of something later. I mean, there's so many fallback options to this, it's definitely a fantastic start. Wow, that's actually really amazing in terms of what we drew into. The only card that can't work is this, but that doesn't matter. We are only playing the one-off, so drawing into it was a bit unlucky, but that's okay. We could still work with this, set it down as a bluff anyway. But either way, we have a great opening hand here. Dark Beckoning Beast allowing us to already go for Dark Summoning Beast. Keep in mind, we are going first, so that's fantastic. We could always use the Dark Beckoning Beast. Get rid of that. Instead of adding your Dark Summoning Beast, because Dark Beckoning Beast can technically add any card, and opening of the spirit gates can only activate or only add a monster, you could use opening to search for your dark summoning beast and your beckoning to guarantee you an awakening, which is definitely a lot more powerful in this situation. So with that being said, we could definitely do the plays as normal. So take our Dark's Beckoning Beast, of course, summon out the Dark Summoning Beast, get that away, and summon out our Raviel. Very powerful starts. Banish this off, and the fantastic thing is we get Uriah. So we actually have 3 of the Sacred Beasts already out on the board, or at least within our presence. So with that being said, we're kind of setting ourselves for the following turn to go for a Dimension Fusion Destruction. Definitely very powerful. However, with that being said, opening of the Spirit Gates can simply just ditch off your Chaos Summoning Beast, summon it back out, tribute that off, summon out your Hamon, of course, in defense. And with that being said, you have this powerful card over here, the Awakening, to set, and that pretty much gives you the negate since you have 2 monsters on the board. Tribute off this, of course, or banish that off, allowing you to search for your Fallen Paradise. We're going to activate our Fallen Paradise, and all we need to do is we now shuffle our deck. Alright, so now let's draw 2 cards off the Fallen Paradise. The first card, Hamon, that's okay. And the second card, Ash, fantastic. I mean, that's a great card to obviously stop your opponents. You are going first. So, what do we have over here to work with? Or what's our final board? Very nice. Fallen Paradise protecting these two 4K beat sticks for your opponent to try and get through. On your following turn, or the opponent's standby phase, activate the Awakening. They can't do anything really anymore. And you also have Ash just in case they search for something. Keep in mind you have 3 of the Sacred Beasts all out on the board. So whatever you need to do, even on your following turn, all you need to do is ditch off the Uriah with the opening of the Spirit Gates. You get them all to the graveyard and you have yourself a Dimension Fusion Destruction ready to go anyway. On your following turn, the Fallen Paradise allows you to draw 2 more cards again. Definitely fantastic, and it also will protect the armor tile if you choose to actually bring it out. This is really amazing. I mean, all of these Testhands are pretty much proving how consistent this new build is, and it's definitely working out incredibly here. So I'm quite pleased to see that. However, is there anything I could do to actually improve on each of these opening combos or Testhands? Let me know. However, with that being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you all next time.